Okay, we're on Facebook Live now, and I'm getting ready to record.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic and Mike King here. As part of the Mike King Biz Media Network, ESPN Richmond 1061, as well as the International Business Group, the Hounds of Business. That's where we are. I am here today with Tiffany Green. Well, hello, ma'am.
Hi, Mike. How are you today?
I'm good. And Tiffany Green is joined by the man, John Brandt. How you doing, John?
Mike, doing great. Great to see you today.
One of the best parts, John, is I think one of the best interviews that we were on when you had the firearms expert on, and we talked about Superman and and how come Superman, Tiffany agreed, but the question was, how come Superman couldn't, why did he throw the gun at the end after he shot the person all the times and they didn't work? We couldn't figure that out. I didn't, I wasn't very cultured, so I didn't know a lot. I just wanted to know, and since John had a firearms expert, I just wondered, did the guy know? Why would you throw a gun at somebody after you shot him a bunch of times and it didn't work? So that's it.
I feel like I really missed out.
That was a great interview, with Dave Van Buren. So I don't know if you know Dave, but he's definitely a guy that you need to get to know.
Okay.
But it was a great interview, and Mike was very comical with him. So
he was an expert, and they get experts in. He thought we were going to come with some real technical question.
Hey, Mike, we're having some technical issues. John, verify. He sounds kind of distant, right? Like
yeah, it sounds like you're talking in a bag or something.
Okay, how about now?
Nah, you're still muffled.
Testing 1, 2.
There you go.
There you go. There. Hallelujah. All right, we're going to crack this up. On the Mike King, ESPN Richmond, here with Tiffany Green and Pal Al. She is the Princess of Purpose, and the man, John Brandt, down there in the Sova Chamber of Commerce. So welcome back to the program, folks.
Good to
Thank
see
you, Mike. And Mike, I feel like you got to give John a nickname too. I mean, if I'm the Princess of Purpose, you're going to have to do some work and come up with a name for John.
Yeah, he's the most connected man around. I remember him from the days of, Colonial Heights, telling me how many restaurants there were per square foot in Colonial Heights. Now he just moved on and it's bigger and better. Everybody knows John Brandt. He has been around. So we're going to work on the nickname for him. John Brandt, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, really quickly. So Tiffany, we're going to start with
you. You're bleeding out again.
Uh-oh. You know what?
It's better when you just said, you just went, we could hear you.
1 second.
Look at that Richmond skyline.
It's always beautiful.
You know you're a youngin' when you hardly ever see that skyline at night because that's just too late.
That's right. That's right. And my thing is I always drive around the Richmond skyline, so I go up 295 to get around that exit right there at what is it? Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Chamberlain Avenue exit. And it gets so congested right there on 95. I just try to avoid it. And so I'll either go through town or go through on 295 if I have to go through Richmond.
I agree. I don't, it's sad to say, but I haven't actually seen the Richmond skyline at night very much because it is true, especially being a parent of young children, you just don't go out at night as much. But
1 second, I'm just about.
It's funny with his backdrop like that because you're going, where is he?
Right. He's just pulling out the the COVID tools that he used to have. So
I'm I'm trying to effort. Tiffany, we're gonna cut all this out. And
I figured it'll be a little
yes,
awkward on the radio.
yes, just because this does sound like a hot mess.
well, you know, I'm like that 50 take guy anyway, Mike. So
John, we've had these conversations. Certain things do not change.
But you
Tiffany, I'm
sound
gonna jump.
great. I can hear you. That's
Hello,
great.
hello, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, let's do this. One of Mike King here, ESPN Richmond, Tiffany Green, John Brandt. Welcome back to the program.
great
Thank
to
you,
be here.
Mike.
All right, Tiffany, let us know who you are and what you do.
I am Tiffany Joy Green, and I am the founder of Empower People. And Empower People is an organization that provides education, connection, and support to mission and purpose-driven leaders to drive positive impact and empower people. And you can find us at www.empowerpeople.org. That's mpwrpeople.org. And you can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Hi, hashtag Empower People. We lost your audio again.
Mike Kingbiz here.
Now you're here.
Mike Kingbiz. John Brandt, tell us who you are, sir.
Hey, I'm John Brandt. I'm the executive director of both the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce and our SOVA Community Bridge Foundation.
What is the foundation? That's something new. You pulling out some new things?
We are. We're always pulling out something new, Mike. So SOVA Community Bridge Foundation is a 501c3 foundation, and it is a, I guess you could say, a division of the chamber, but it's our it's the arm that we can use to allow people to be able to donate to us, and it can be a charitable contribution to the foundation. It helps go to support our scholarships, our veteran intake for ones that are getting out of the military and getting into the real life world to help them with workforce development. We also are working with the high schools with their career and technical education departments. We also have a entrepreneur section where a new entrepreneur can come to us, take some classes, and then we're going to have a pitch competition where they can get some seed money for their businesses.
So for folks who don't know John Brandt, tell folks the creation of the Southern Virginia Chamber. We go back to a long way. Tell people exactly what that is for people who don't know.
So this is year 9 for me in the chamber world. I started out with the Colonial Heights Chamber of Commerce, and we were doing so good that our neighboring city, which is Petersburg, was having some issues. So we actually took over the Petersburg Chamber, and we came together. Now it's being called the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, and we are always expanding. We are looking at a new opportunity that should be able to be announced here soon. So hopefully next time I'm on with you, Mike, which would, I hope you're not going to take, another 2 years to invite me back, but
Burn!
Mhm. Wow.
but we got
go
some
back.
big announcements that are coming up with the chamber, and that we're so excited about the foundation that we're getting kicked off now, that that's a main focus right now.
So a lot of great things happening down there. Talk about some of the, well, it's been a while. Talk about the business climate down in your area, Petersburg, Colonial Heights areas.
So, as you discussed, Mike, our area right now is very restaurant heavy. And so those that want to start a business here in Petersburg and Colonial Heights, we've had a lot of restaurants start, and we still have a very high per capita, I guess, number of restaurants in the city of Colonial Heights. Um, and then we have Old Town that's just exploding with new businesses and new restaurants in that area. So, but we've got a lot of service industry that's in the city of Colonial Heights. We've got a brand new um storage unit place that's going to be opening up in Colonial Heights. We've got some tent places that are opening up in Colonial Heights. And so business is booming here. And we're excited about how people are looking at this southern end of Central Virginia to come start their business and really get, I guess, installed and seen in the area.
That is true. John Brandt, the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Tiffany, when we're talking about purpose-driven organizations and leaders, John Brandt is the man. So when he goes back 9 years, I remember we've been talking, he's been on a program way back to my my NTW days down there with you guys down in Chester. So when you talk about purpose-driven leaders, that he's the example of what you're talking about. Tiffany Green, tell us what's happening in your and the connection with you and the chamber.
So what's happening in Empower People? There's a lot of things. So we have courses coming up next month. We have how to have a business contract 101, kind of important. We also have a course coming up on are you managing or are you leading? We also have our Empower Hour, which is the first Wednesday of every month at 9 o'clock, where you can ask all your business management and leadership questions to our panel of advisors or experts. And we also have a very big event with the show on July 23rd at noon. We have
Very big.
global sensation coming on the show at noon, internationally known to rock the microphone. I don't know how many people picked up that little from some old school Rob Bass, right? So he's this individual is going to be coming on July 23rd at noon. Stay tuned because you can register to attend the recording, so you don't have to wait to hear the recording on ESPN Richmond, but it will be a fantastic event. It will change your life.
One of the things, because we're talking purpose is not a Richmond-based thing, it's not Colonial Heights, not Central Virginia. This phenomenon is taking over.
Well, the thing is, right, when we talk about purpose, we may have a local purpose, but we are living in a global society, and everything we do in any corner of this world impacts all the other corners of the world, whether we realize it or not. So it's important to have this interconnectedness outside of our regions, because we not only is it helpful to have that support, we also learn from other people in other areas of the world and maybe implement those things in our own zip codes.
One of the things we always talk about, Tiffany, is putting purpose in and also baking it into the culture. John, when you were launching, so everything was rocking and rolling in Colonial Heights. You were good. You're the man. But you see, and we would always have the conversation about Petersburg. Like, how come Colonial Heights is rocking and Petersburg was there? And you started that process. Talk about how do you incorporate something like adding on an entity and keeping it the way that you'd want.
Well, our big, focus again is on the businesses. So, despite what, the city leadership might be, despite what, some of the negative media has been on places like Petersburg and Hopewell and places like that, we can't focus on that. We're truly looking to try to drive traffic in to those businesses that are in Petersburg, in Colonial Heights. And like I said, try to get people to disregard all the negative talk that's surrounding the areas, because there are really good people that are starting up businesses in Petersburg that may not get the chance if they're not represented by somebody who's going to be their cheerleader, whether it be on social media, whether it be through emails, whether it be through a show like yours, whether it be, you had my man on there yesterday. I think it was Demetrius Frazier, incredible talent in Petersburg and has an incredible place in Petersburg that a lot of people don't even realize is there and haven't visited.
I always tell, and we've talked about, I tell people there's a lot of big things happening in Petersburg, with Colonial Heights, Dinwiddie, Hopewell. There's a lot of things happening business wise. You just have to go and figure it out and see. So, John, what are some of the things happening with the chamber that you want to let people know, and how can they get information about joining the chamber?
So you can always go to sovachamber.com. And some big things that are happening is we have a women's, we're calling it a retreat. Not a conference, not a expo, but a retreat. It's a place where women can come, they can share with their other women in business entities and be able to grow with some different teachers that are here. I've got Jilly Johnston that's going to be coming in and speaking to these women and empowering them to take their leadership to the next level. We also have another young lady who's going to be coming in and talking about business finances. So, just some really needed support there. And we're gonna kickstart with the women to get that off and running. We also have the Festival of Grapes and Hops that's coming up September 21st. So that is always a great time in Petersburg, and we'll have over 4,000 people coming to the Arts and Historic District of Petersburg, and we're going to be having about 12 to 15 different wineries. We've got some really big name breweries that's going to be there, and we've got some top-notch bands that'll be leading off and just rocking out the party.
There you go. Big things happening down in the Petersburg area. Tiffany, when you look at an area and people need to go ahead and they want to make a change, how do you work on a perception of people looking at you different? Like John talks about the great things happening in Petersburg, and shout out to my man Demetrius Frazier, who's out there with his bookstore. How do you get people to look at more of the positive things that an area is doing, or show them that you're being purposeful?
The whole point, right, is to actually communicate your purpose and to also know that not everybody is going to have purpose alignment. So there's going to be people, name any area or region in the country, and you say that region and people are like, oh, I'm not interested. And that's okay. But what you want to do is you want to communicate your purpose so you're attracting the people that would be drawn to your area. It's like, you look at a brand like Nike, not everybody's going to buy Nike, and that's okay. Some people are going to buy Adidas. I don't know. I'm not either of their target markets, but like there's Nike, Adidas, and but that's okay. You're putting out the message and your branding and your purpose to those who, when you say that, it's going to resonate with them, and then they're going to want. So really, I would say for a challenge like what I'm hearing John talking about, like the challenge with Petersburg is, there's a lot of people who, if they hear what Petersburg has to offer, will be drawn to that, regardless of what some people who may have a conception or misconception of what Petersburg is and that's okay. You don't have to fight it. That's not something you have to fight. You just have to share what the purpose is. Look at the history that is in Petersburg. There's a lot of people who love history. They want to see the old buildings. They want to see the cobblestone roads, and they want to see the new merge with the old and how that transformation is and how they've given Petersburg almost a rebirth, right? To merge, to take reborn from the old. And there's that message resonates with people. That's the purpose, and focus on that. That's all you need to do. You don't need to focus on the negative. And I did want to circle back, Mike, because you had mentioned like how are John and I connected, or the chamber. So I had a conversation during COVID pandemic with John, and that was before actually, John. That was when you were getting ready to merge
Yep.
Colonial Heights in Petersburg. So it was an interesting time. But the other connection is through Michelle Rollins and the work that I know she's doing with the foundation. And what I think is really important about SOVA, the SOVA Chamber, and what they're trying to do is this purpose. They're being very clear, and I'll give you credit, John, about who and why the chamber exists. You know, you're very clear that you're a chamber representing small business, entrepreneurs, veterans, but also emerging entrepreneurs, students who may be looking to get into the entrepreneurial space. And I think when you look at chambers and you look at what is the purpose of a chamber, every chamber, regardless of where you're located, regardless of it, are you in a city? Are you a small town? Are you a county chamber? Like they all are facing very similar challenges. How do we stay current with the upcoming generations? You know, back in the day, John, and you can attest to this, a chamber was known for definitely the golf tournaments, right? Because that was like a mainstay, and some key networking events, maybe the gala or whatnot. But you know, the younger generations are like, eh, you know, I hang out with my friends that are my friends. I want to spend that time with my friends. They're looking for more. Now, I'm not telling all the chambers to stop their golf tournaments and everything, but what I'm saying is that's not necessarily what's speaking to the younger generations. So the fact that if you can speak that purpose, because the younger generations, and I said this time and time again, Mike, on the show, you look at the millennials, you look at Gen Z, you look at the upcoming Gen Alpha, they want to know what your purpose is and they want to align with that, and then they'll be with you forever. So I think what I'm hearing John do over at SOVA is saying, our purpose is for the small business, our purpose is for entrepreneurs, our purpose is for emerging entrepreneurs and for veterans. It's pretty clear that they're trying to make those segments within their community thrive.
Absolutely.
One of Mike Tiffany Green, John Brandt here. We're talking. Hey, John, is Ray Ferguson still doing? How's he doing?
Ray Ferguson is incredible. He's the actual reigning president of our chamber right now. And, you know, he's just an entrepreneur extraordinaire. He's got so many businesses that his head's spinning. So he's got RVA Roofing Services and Roof Max now. He's also got the escape room still. He's got his ice cream shop that's on Fort Gregg Adams. And he does an escape room on Fort Gregg Adams, and his daughter is doing a couple of coffee shops. So, you know, his head's just spinning with being that entrepreneur extraordinaire. So,
Yes, he is a guy who he keeps his ear to the ground. He's always connected to helping the community be better. So shout out to my man Ray Ferguson out there. Tiffany Green, how can people get information about you and what we do? Also, we are together next week with the Empower Hour, your squad of heroes that you put together, and we talk about whatever we talk about, and we open the floor up to business people to ask all the questions that they may have had and didn't know where to go to. And that is the day.
It is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2 days after Canada Day, 2 days before July 4th. Yes, Canada Day is July 1st, and I'm a Canadian American, so I get to start the week with Canada Day and end the week with Independence Day. It's a fabulous week. Red throughout. I get to wear red throughout the week. So July 3rd, 9 o'clock. Is our Empower Hour. We have our panel of experts. This is a free opportunity for you to ask your business management leadership questions to our panel of experts. So you're definitely going to want to register. If you're not an Empower People member, go to our website, empowerpeople.org, mpwrpeople.org, and you can become an Empower People member for free. Yes, that's right, free. If you're asking, well, if it's free, why do I have to become a member? Is this some sort of, pull the wool over my eyes kind of thing? No, it's not. It's because when you become a member, it's a confidentiality agreement when you become an Empower People member. So that way, when you participate in our events, you can know that this is a safe space for you to ask your personal questions. So Wednesday, July 3rd, 9 o'clock virtually, you're going to want to attend that. And you can find us again at empowerpeople.org, mpwrpeople.org. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And please don't forget to hashtag empower
Hashtag.
people.
Yes, John Brandt, how can people find information out about the chamber?
So we have our website, which is sovachamber.com, and that's the best way to find out any information you want about the chamber. But we also have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is always great. Um, and if they can't get us there, we have our phone numbers. And we always put my cell phone number out there because I'm here for the businesses anytime, any day. And that's 804-931-5419.
John Brandt does have his phone and he does answer. He is a man, he is on the other side of the phone, helping to put out problems. All right, so on the mic, Mike, we got to run. Tiffany Green, John Brandt, we'd like to thank you for coming in. Tiffany, we'd just like to give a shout out to our good friends in two places. One is Moose Jaw, the other one is Saskatoon. We're pretty big in those areas. No, not really, but we got to go, folks. All right, on the mic, Mike, take care. See you folks later. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Mike.
Thank
John,
you.
you want to hang out? There we go. We
Sure.
can just stay on. I'll stop recording.